And I don't know how to start this video. I have tried like 5 different times and I still don't know how to start it. So I hope if you're watching this and you're taking your time out of your day to watch this, that your day goes well. Even if you're not taking the time to watch the full video, I hope everything in your life goes well. And without wasting any time, let's start with the video. So today I'm going to be talking about everything I wish I knew as a teenager. And the first thing I would like to talk about is insecurities. So throughout our life, right, we have been taught that we have to look a certain way or act a certain way or, project ourselves in a certain way to be liked, to be appreciated. But the thing is that no one really cares, okay? Like, your parents will tell you that don't behave this way, don't behave that way, that auntie will care, that uncle will care. And the reality is, people do care, okay? But not to the extreme level that, it's going to remain for the rest of your life. No, be what you want to be, and don't be insecure about your looks. That's the worst thing, that people can say to you, and people do say to you. I'm not going to deny that. The world is very evil when it comes to that. They will, make fun of your acne or make fun of your pigmentation or, make fun of, if you've gained weight or lost weight or anything like that. And the thing is that they are insecure themselves. So the first thing I would like to say is that never be insecure. Be yourself. Don't, hesitate from talking loudly or, making fun of things that you find funny. Okay, don't make fun of people or anything like that. Like when I said funny in the sense like lame jokes or something like that. Okay, so that is that. And be a good person to people around you. Just because I'm saying that you should be self-confident doesn't mean you put someone down for, things that are out of their control or when they're not doing anything to you. Okay, so that's the first thing. Don't be insecure. And adjacent to that, please be a good person when it comes to things. Don't put people down, don't make people insecure, which is another thing that teenage people do. Okay, like when they feel confident themselves, they feel like they have the right to make someone else feel bad about themselves. And I don't know why people do it. Maybe it's the insecurity that someone else has put inside them, so they wanted to look a certain way, and when they achieve it, they feel like, okay, now we have to make other people insecure. Okay, so now the second thing, which is a bit controversial, I think, is friendships. See, we all have friendships. We all have people that, are our do or dies or things like that. But the reality is that you have come alone in this world. There is no way that another person is going to love you as much as your parents are going to love you. I know sounds harsh, and there are parents who are crazy, but 90% of the times, your friends are not it. Okay, they are going to be one of the worst people to you at times. They are going to make judge you for things. They are going to trouble you. They're going to do xyz if they're not your good friends or they're not your true friends. And the thing is that we don't identify these things. We let go of a lot of these things because we feel that it's their nature, this, that. But if your friend is bitching about someone and then going and talking to them very nicely, just trust me, they are not trustworthy. And they will probably do the same to you at some point in their life, and that is how it is. Okay, and yeah. And the other thing is that if someone is putting you down or being toxic in your life, you have to cut them off. And the cutting off doesn't have to be like straightforward cutting off. You can like slowly cut them off, distance yourself. And if they're coming back to you again and again, that means that they really do want you in their life, and you have to confront them. And if you confront them and they change, then might as well keep them in your life, because they know you have boundaries and you have to set clear boundaries with your friends. Okay, that is it. And if a friend is angry at you with something you did or anything, and they're not coming to sort it out with you, or you're not going to sort, when you're trying to sort it out with them, they're not listening, then they are not worth it. Okay, that is one more thing. And we put a lot of importance in friendships as teenagers because we think that having a best friend is the end of the world, but in reality it's not, because these people are in your life period during your school years and maybe your college years, and eventually, even if they are in your life, it is very minute parts that they occupy. And your friends do help you go through a lot that you cannot discuss with your parents, and I agree with all of that. But at the end of the day, are they going to do it every time, or it's just selective, or when it's their convenience? And there are a lot of friends, right, during a healing period that you get very close to, and then they use this stuff, and that is where you have to be careful with the type of people you trust. If someone is bad to others, then they are not worth it. And I know that there can be rumors about a person and it doesn't have to be true, because the same thing happens with me. Like, there are a lot of rumors about me and I'm not like that. But then eventually you have to judge the person's character as best as you can. And you have to notice the small things. And that is the only time you will know that, whether do I trust this person or not. And I really hope that none of you all have to go through a friendship breakup that's even harder than a relationship breakup at times. But yeah, that is another thing. The next thing, let's talk about relationships. So we live in a country where relationships are, now slowly becoming normalized, but it's still not as normalized as it should be. And what happens is that currently, what I have noticed personally is that the dating world, right, is quite toxic. Like, you have toxic standards both from the feminine side as well as the masculine side, and which causes a huge sort of, like, as young people, we do not have an idea of a relationship unless we experience it. So your first relationship might not be perfect, it will be messy, you might be toxic in that. And you might not be toxic because you're a toxic person or anything, but because you've not been in a relationship before, and you certain behaviors, like controlling nature or anything like that, might come out just out of not knowing how to act, or like a communication barrier, which is bound to happen. And if you can get over that, then it's good. But if you can't, you have to learn to let go. And often with our first relationships, the first loves, it's very difficult to let go. And I know that. And I just hope that none of you all have to experience it. But letting go is the first, if you're not happy in a relationship, is the first act of self-love that you can do for yourself. Okay, so anyways, going back to this, we all have very messed up concepts of love because of the media that we consume, or these podcasts and the toxic man spear podcast. Let's not even go there. But because of that, a lot of these standards have been developed which are unrealistic and very problematic also at times. But at the same time, we as an individual have to figure out our boundaries and our space. And I don't want to get more into that. I just wanted to talk about the aspect of letting go and understanding what is good for you and what is bad. And if a relationship is affecting your career, then it is no way worth pursuing in your teenage years. Okay, that is the biggest mistake you can do, is that choosing your relationship over your career when you're 18, 15, or any of these ages. Because your relationship might not work out, but your career is there for the rest of your life. And the last thing, what I've already spoken about here, is that career is very important. I know people will be like, you're so young, this, that, but you have to set a groundwork for yourself. Because without this groundwork, you will not be able to build your lifestyle, or, on your own. If you have rich parents and they're ready to support you for the rest of your life, then you can just stop here, because after this is useless what I'm going to say. But you need to understand ways, you are going to be financially independent in your 20s, or how you're going to work towards that. And you need to have a plan, you need to have a bit of goals. You don't have to work like that you're not enjoying your life, but you have to do both. Okay, and that is very important. And I myself don't follow it as thoroughly as I'm saying right now. For me, my career is important too, but I'm not working very hard towards it, and eventually I will, but let's not talk about that here. So yeah, your career is important. It's like the building blocks for the rest of your life. So yeah, that's all I would like to say. And yeah, to end this video, just one thing: be a nice person, help people, be kind, and don't bully others. I don't think any of y'all would, but if y'all do, don't do that. And try to enjoy your teenage years as much as possible, because once you enter college, once you're 18, basically, your life changes and you learn a lot about life. But as a 14, 15, 13-year-old, there are just a few things you need to know. That the world does not end with friendships. You are not ugly. It's just a phase, and you will grow into everything. You will experience things, and you have to just hold on at times. You have to understand what's good for you. And yeah, that's all. I hope this video made sense. I will go and watch it now. Anyway, so if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. YouTube has been a lifelong dream of mine, and I'm finally doing it without any fears. So here goes. Bye.